We're Gene and Clint Tolleson. We've been involved with foster care now for 2 years. We serve in the emergency placement, the respite, and the short-term placement lane of foster care.
So I think we've fostered 37-ish kids in the last almost 2 years. It's been a revolving door at our house, but in a really cool way. Right now we feel like short-term is where God's called us to be, and I think that really fits well for our family in this season of life. I feel like I've kind of always felt called to foster care, but I don't think that was maybe the same calling for him at first. But I just kind of started praying about that a whole lot after we had what we knew was going to be our last biological child, and just kind of praying for the Lord either to put it on his heart or to take it off of mine. And he ended up putting it on his heart, and that kind of started our journey. The Lord has grown our hearts to see that need. And once you see the need, it is extremely hard to unsee the need of foster care and adoption.
A lot of these children are in very difficult environments, but they're just children. If you take that child out of a very difficult environment and put them in a good environment, the result is oftentimes just like what you see with a normal family that's not going through the same struggles. So I've noticed that these kids at their core are good. Their environment is shaping them. And as soon as they get removed from that environment, I've noticed a behavior change. I've noticed a perspective change in their life. And that's really taught me so much. It's helped me empathize with people more. It's helped me recognize that we are all the same. The environments that we are in are greatly molding the trajectory of our life. And what am I going to do about it? And that's really been a big impact for me, because we can't save the world, but there are some things we can do for people's environments that can drastically change their lives. My hope is that they remember their time at our house and that they recognize the positives that were there, whether it be the loving environment, the obvious care, whatever it is that they are feeling comfortable with at our house. Hopefully it's the Holy Spirit. All the things that they experience at our house, my hope is that they take that with them into their life, and regardless of their circumstances, they remember that and they can recall that and know that there's a different way. The life that they're in, a lot of these kids are in an incredibly difficult and rocky spot. Just to have been exposed to something different at our house, I hope that that's something they can carry with them for their lives and hopefully pull on when they're in a difficult spot and know, okay, well, that family I was with that one time, that's not how they did things. And I liked how they did things like that. That's really my goal, is that they see Jesus through our family, and that comes out in the way that we have created the environment that we live in. And I hope that they can draw on that for years to come.
I think for our kids to be able to see what compassion looks like, but also how to love others well. I think something that, we really want to teach our kids is how to love God and love others. And I don't think there's truly a better way than to have somebody who is in a different situation than your own children, to be able to bring them into your home where we know this is our safe environment, and to truly get to walk through lots of different seasons and situations and teach them how to truly love other people.
My favorite thing about foster friends, they come over to play, they read books with me, I get to share my time with them, it's really fun. My favorite thing about foster friends is how they play. My favorite thing about foster friends is what I get to play at the house, and they get to play outside, and they get to play with me and Papa and Annie, and Daddy and Mommy.
My advice for families considering foster care would just be to start somewhere. That's kind of our story. I still am incredibly intimidated by the thought of a long-term placement, but I feel extremely confident that I can do anything for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, sometimes it ends up being. And because of that one step of obedience, God has really blessed our household. He's brought great perspective in for our children. It allows me to see clearly kind of where I stand spiritually. All of these things that you're just never going to get by just sitting around thinking about something. God calls us into action. We're supposed to do something, and we're called to care for the vulnerable. He's gifted each of us uniquely. I don't think it looks the same for each of us, but if it's on your heart, I absolutely encourage you to do it.